Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Evam saviplavita sarvadharma. Dasya pati patito graya karmana. Nipatyamano nire hatavrataha. Sadhyo vimukto bhagavan nama grahanan. Jamila was a Brahmana who, because of his bad association, had given up all Brahminical culture and religious principles. Becoming most fallen, he stole, drank, and performed other abominable acts. He even kept a prostitute. Thus he was destined to be carried away to hell by the order carriers of Yamaraj. But he was immediately rescued simply by a glimpse of the chanting of the holy name of Narayana. So this chapter is extremely important because in Kali Yuga, other process will not work. What are the other processes we have? Going to the forest, doing meditation, doing some elaborate yagnas, doing archana. And apart from that, other processes have been mentioned, just like doing some terrible austerities, or you go to the astrologers, they will tell you hey, you have this dosha, you have that dosha. What are the famous things there? Here they tell Naga dosha, and this dosha, that dosha, and you think it's not going to end your fruitive activity. See, I am suffering. Why? Because I have done a wrong act. Why do you arrest somebody in a jail? Because he does some crime. And every time when they release him from the jail, still he does the same activity. The reason is his heart is not purified by whatever system you have made of jail. Correct? So in the same way, these prayashita activities, process which is generally used for purification. Prayashita means this jail is nothing but a prayashita system. You have to understand the siddhanta. Jail is just the implementation of that. The siddhanta, the tattva is prayashita. When they isolate the person from the society, where he is not allowed to meet anybody, his all freedom has been taken away and he is locked in a cell. What happens to him? He gets an opportunity to reflect back on his activity. Previously they used to beat, now they don't beat. He watches movie whole day and he has food 3 times a day. Only punishment is separated from his so-called friends and family. But it's a big punishment. And so he sits down, he starts reflecting on all that. And, so there's some kind of prayashita performing. But if the person we have seen does not change, can take statistics, 90% they remain same. Why? Because it is compared to Hasti Snan. An elephant when it takes bath, after taking bath, he puts mud all around him. That's how it does. Why it does it is a separate biological need he has. But it has similarly, a person, if he does not experience a higher taste, he continues to do his abominable activities. Correct? And another reason is he does not give up his bad company. When he comes out of jail, he goes to the same friends who bring him, even if there has been some purification, then bring him back to the same level. Therefore, in spiritual life begins by asat sanga tyaga. This is ABCD. But unless you see in a person asat sanga tyaga, we see that he has not improved in spiritual life. Correct? Asat sanga tyaga means we are taking asat sanga in so many ways. From your TV, internet, mobile, you are taking asat sanga only. What we have is nothing more than a rotten stool, stinking thing. You create a medium. They say the biggest joke they thought was mobile and computer will save our time. It doesn't save our time. And worse is people get addicted to the stool-like stinking content. More you advance in spiritual life, more you hate dirty association. Just like a doctor who wants to keep himself very clean. How many times he keeps washing his hand? They do any small thing, they put their hands, all instrument in antiseptic. He doesn't want to take a chance. He sees one patient and then immediately he changes his gloves, this, that. So many things they do. It looks like crazy or what? Why is he so much? Because he doesn't want to carry infection. He doesn't want to catch infection. So therefore, why? He's serious about it. He knows. He's a doctor. He knows how easy it is to catch infection. Correct? Recently we had one of our congregation doctors got tuberculosis. Doctor. And he has to do a terrible suffering. Himself had to go. He knows. Even if he has not gone through, not that he had to go through. He knows how terrible this disease is. Daily he's seeing people are suffering. Because the disease is just like few bacteria that enter, then you have to suffer. Correct? One mosquito bite, you have to suffer for 1 month, and what kind of headache you get. And sometimes they go in the brain and then there's so much trouble. So same way, we have to be extremely careful. Asat sanga. If somebody has not become careful about asat sanga, he is not a devotee. Because that is the definition of a Kanishta Bhakta. Not even Madhya, not even Uttama. That is why we created hostel here and we're creating so many hostels. The very essence is, it is not that the person should have a need. I want to be saved from dirty association. Therefore, please, I want to be in a protected place. Correct? I want to be saved from this garbage association that the society is giving. So, and Ajamila, unfortunately, even though he was in a very pious association, his father was a priest, just like we are discussing, Shine Punya Martulokam Vishanti, must have been, even in previous life, spiritually inclined, because they're born to in a very comfortable situation. A father is already a priest, a devotee. There is a very good spiritual atmosphere at home, and he is going out for collecting flowers of worship of the deities. Everything is auspicious as far as spiritual. Today people have no value for this. People are animals. But somebody who really knows the value of life, he had a very good chance to achieve spiritual perfection. Maybe he didn't complete in the last life, but this life he got a chance. And now, what is he doing in this chance? He threw the whole thing away. Why? He saw some karmi, some man, third-class man, embracing a prostitute. Same thing it is for us. Somehow by good fortune, we come to Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada says, do not imitate the sinful people now. Do not imitate the karmis. Karmi means who just wants to enjoy senses. Do not imitate him. Therefore, asas sanga tyaga. We have to have cut off. Just like you are doing business, you have to learn to say no. Otherwise, people will make you bankrupt. They'll, please, my product also keep in your shop. You have to see, this thing will never sell. Then I have to pay so much money, and then I lose. Correct? You have to say no. You cannot do business. So similarly, business of life. So many of your friends will come. Yeah, why don't we go for a trip. Nowadays there's nonsense there among youngsters. Trip. What is the rubbish trip? Where? What is the purpose? Simply to see land and water. What is the trip? You have to see. In the Vedic times, travel is only to go to a temple. In fact, Chanakya himself says, don't travel to a town in which there is no temple. It's a waste to live in such a place. People will travel only for pilgrimage. Yeah, right? Somebody was say, you go to a college and announce you're going for a trip to some waterfall. Whole college will come. And you're saying you're going to a trip, you're going to some temple. Not one person will come. So they're asat, they're animals. But Krishna consciousness is so powerful, just like Ajamila now. Take a first principle, you understand what mistake Ajamila made. Even though he was living a purified life of spiritual happiness and clean, pure life. That's called Brahminical life. Brahminical life is not by birth, it is by quality. Today there are so many jokers, they say I'm a Brahmana and his life is worse than a donkey. Correct? It's not by birth, it's qualities. So he was in a Brahminical quality living. Brahma janate iti Brahmana. Those who are dedicated for spiritual culture is called Brahmana. And he was married. He had his own wife. But he was living a very regulated, disciplined, pure life of spiritual development. But what did he do? He did a disaster. He one day was going to collect flowers, and there he saw a man embracing a prostitute. Abominable life. And he got attracted to that kind of pleasure. It's just like yesterday we had the Ram Navami, the Lakshman Rekha. Whatever happens, we should not cross the Lakshman Rekha. Correct? Then you are not a human being. Then you are an animal. And then, correct, Lakshman Rekha for Mother Sita was the boundary given by Lakshmana. But she is, associated to the Lord. She has nothing to teach for her. She knows everything. And in fact, what Ravana saw was not real Sita we discussed. He saw Maya Sita, a duplicate form. You cannot see. Everybody is trying to take darshan of Narayana. Can you take darshan of Narayana? We are not able to see. Even we are offering some prayers. Did Narayana come here? Could you talk to him? True, deities are non-different, but they are not moving. We cannot relate in this. Actually, we are not ready. Even the deities want to move. They are conscious. But we cannot handle it now. Krishna wants to come. He is the Supreme Father. How much you think the Father will be eager to play with his children? Correct? But we are not ready now. We can't handle him. It's our own disqualification. Prabhupada says, Krishna is so eager to see you. You take one step, he takes 10. But definitely when you do activity that Ajamila got into, forget it. He can't come. You are pushing Krishna. Rather, you yourself don't want him to come. Because you know in his presence these activities cannot happen. It is not possible. Nowadays, many times youngsters, they live in the same town where the parents are living. They don't live in the same house. They live separately. Because they go to schools and colleges, they learn such abominable habits that when they go back, they know father will not permit that rubbish life. Sleeping at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. No gentleman father will permit it at house. Correct? And then whole day playing games, watching movies, speaking rubbish, talking rubbish. No father will permit. Correct? At least father may be drunkard. He doesn't want his son to drink. Even though he may have some weakness, he wants his son to be that's why they invested so much time, money, so much resources. And this is unfortunate, the joke comes. So they know they can't stay in the same house. I've seen so many times they take another house when they go back because they know at father mother will just not allow that life in house. They have a lot of difficulties. The parents themselves are not aware what happened to him because they never saw him properly. He just collapsed. Why? He saw Dasi. He saw, in a word here, a prostitute. And he became, oh, what a wonderful life. And he forgot the life of purity. Then it's going to be of no use. But then what happened? Ajamila, somehow by good fortune. So one side is that we have all degraded into low case of consciousness and we are not fit at all for any spiritual development. But in Kali Yuga there is one concession. It is said, Kalir dosh nidhe rajan. Kali Yuga is an ocean of fall. Kali Yuga is an ocean of what? Asti eka mahan guna. There is one great quality in Kali Yuga. What is that? Kirtanat eva Krishnasya. If you just chant the holy name of the Lord, Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet, we are immediately purified from bad association and Param Vrajet. So if you are chanting holy name of the Lord and you are not getting Mukta Sangha, that means you are not chanting. That means you are not hearing. Some drama is going on. You are not doing it properly. Something is wrong. You are taking medicine and temperature is not coming down. You should see what is wrong. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Rajet. Mukta Sangha means we are free from the harassment of Rajoguna Tamoguna, which comes from bad association. Somewhere it has to come, no? Just like, suppose somebody got some disease, what the doctor will say, from where did he get it? Where did he get? What did he do? Oh, doctor, I was traveling somewhere and then I, drank nowadays water, contaminated water. Oh, so you should be careful, correct? Just like we go for a pilgrimage, we are very careful where we are drinking water. One wrong glass of water, you get a diarrhea, sometimes throat infection, headache, you're sick immediately. The doctor tells, same way we should also try to analyze. We should analyze, introspect, what did I do? Why is it my conscience is disturbed now? Mukta Sangha. So it should happen. If you're practicing Krishna consciousness, Mukta Sangha. One thing, you're always alert. Always you're alert. It is said a person who is sattvic is always alert. Just like again the example of yesterday night. Suppose somebody is putting pen drive in your computer. You're always alert. First you scan it. Otherwise virus will be inside my computer. Correct? You're always, if somebody is maintaining a very nice computer, means he's always very alert. Somebody is maintaining his house very clean, he's always alert. Okay? If he's going out of the house, he'll close the window so the dust doesn't come in. So how is he keeping it clean? So similarly, if you want to keep your heart clean, you have to be very, very alert. Don't take Maya for granted. Maya is extremely powerful. It's the energy of the Lord. Always testing our determination to serve Krishna. So we should be always alert and immediately cut off. Mukta Sangha. If you're chanting Hare Krishna, you get a higher taste. You get strength to cut off. But what happens when you don't practice spiritual life? You have to have happiness. If it is not spiritual happiness, we want material happiness. And for material happiness, we grab into sense gratification. And we start imitating the karmis. Therefore, even congregation people who are not seriously involved in Krishna consciousness, we see they start imitating the karmis. Oh, he had that car, I'll have that car. Utility is the principle. Definitely we want thing. Utility is enough, no? What is the point in having 60,000 rupee mobile? What is the point in having 30 lakh rupee car? Are you mad? Isn't it? We see people doing that. Sometimes we see those people are doing who are regularly even coming to temple and so-called they're chanting Hare Krishna also. Okay? We should avoid all this thing. We should try to avoid. Don't imitate the karmis. They are mad. They are mad. And in the society, what happens? If you associate with the jokers, the platform of success is somebody who achieves sense gratification. And for a devotee, the platform of success is somebody who achieved the lotus feet of the Lord. When it was a proper Vedic culture, it was a separate thing. If a saint comes to a kingdom, including the king, the whole kingdom will hear him. Okay? They will take his association. They'll inquire from him. That was the Vedic culture. But today, there is no understanding, no value for spiritual purification. There is a statement by Acharyas that my only possession is 2 lotus feet of the Lord. I have no other possession. Because the devotee is happy just by possessing that. And what does it mean? By developing faith and devotion and realizations at the feet of the Lord, is fully satisfied. He does not want anything else. My life is successful. Other things are there, not there is not a primary criteria. If this is there, my life is successful. So therefore, Ajamila went through a very bad situation. Now coming back, how he got saved? By hearing the holy name of the Lord. So if he can hear the holy name of the Lord, then the stages will go. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means first initial faith. And then Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means he is not having Asat Sangha. You cannot have two things together. You cannot put the leg on two boats together. Either you put on spiritual life or material life. That we have to make a decision. And it requires little intelligence to be able to make a decision. So Asat Sangha, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. Then in Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya occurs. Because sadhus are inclined to worship the Lord. So you also develop inclination. Let me also worship the Lord. And being inspired, encouraged, guided by the sadhus, the person begins Bhajan Kriya. He begins the activity of devotion service. And then all his misgivings go away, anartha nivritti. And then develop firm faith in the lotus feet of Krishna. And develops taste for serving Krishna. And develop affection for Krishna, love for Krishna, and he sees Krishna. The whole process begins by giving up Asat Sangha. But if you see somebody is not giving Asat Sangha, he is a hypocrite making a show. Keep him away. That's all. Keep him away. He just wants best of both the worlds. Just kick him out of your association. We cannot encourage such a person. Correct? That means he is a hypocrite. He is not serious about spiritual life. He still wants to maintain Asat Sangha. Even after. Therefore, say one of the offenses in devotion service is what? What is one of the offenses in devotion service? Even after understanding so many instructions in this matter, you are still attached to material life. Therefore, no. So we should introspectively see. Sometimes things are not external, they are internal. And the heart, still Asat Sangha is there. So nice. He is so successful. Such a nice bike he has. Such a nice mobile he has. These are not symptoms of success. This is just a piece of plastic, we should understand. Therefore, Prabhupada used to joke, just like now Ajamila is going back to Godhead from the spiritual world, a Vimana has come, made of gold. It's actually a transcendental Vimana. It looks like gold. You don't know what it is, because it goes to the spiritual world less than a second. If you want to calculate from here, even the end of the universe will be some light years, correct? They say like that.
20 billion.
Whatever. In the Vedic calculation, it is yojanas. And it is given few billion, I think, 4 billion miles, something, the size of the universe. So even you cross the universe, it takes you enough time. Correct? It should take you millions of years to travel. And who has the body which can last for millions of years? It's a funny thing. But the spirit is so fast. Just like I am sitting here. Mind is so fast. I think I can think of PVS. Can't I think of PVS?
Yes.
And if I have some siddhi, like Sanjaya could see that place. Not only he could see, you could even see their mental condition. He explains Arjuna's intention. His seeing was not gross, even subtle. He could see very well. Srila Prabhupada ki.